Hello traders, welcome back to today's episode of looking at the support and resistance areas for tomorrow and planning for tomorrow. Tomorrow being 25th of September 2024. Again, before we start, if you are liking the contents of these videos, please like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel and click on the notification icon. Let us now get back to the monthly chart and see what is happening. Now, looking at the monthly chart, we are back near the all-time high. This is also the ATR target for the monthly chart. And now we will have to see that if we can carry up to the upside, get above the 5800 level, and then get to the 5813 to the 5826 to the 5836 levels to the upside. Again, based on the monthly chart, this 5721 remains to be the best support at this point of time on the monthly chart. And if we break that down, then we can come down to the 5669 area. And if we keep moving up based on the monthly chart, if we do a 1:1 of this particular leg to the upside, the target comes to 6064. And if the month ends very bullish and the next month the bulls pick it up again, we can very easily get to that target at 6064. But before that, we have the target of 5836 in the short term. Once we hit that, then we will see how the market is behaving. Now, since we are so close to the ATH here, we now have to be careful, because if you remember 99.5 or 5799.25 area, that has the weekly wedge. So it is possible that it hits the weekly wedge and then starts reversing back again. But the way it is closing today, it is actually giving me confidence that the market still has room to the upside and will try to get the targets at the top. Let us take a look at the weekly chart right now. So the weekly chart, we are closing somewhere near 5793. We are above this 5785 or 84.75 area, which was the previous all-time high. Now, based on the weekly chart, this 5762 line, which is also the open of the week on the ETA chart, will maintain a very good support. Even if the price comes down and gets back above 85 again, there is a big chance that we are going to hit this ATH. Above this ATH, we will have to see if we are crossing above this 5800 area or the 5799.25 area, which happens to be the wedge. But if we get a strong breakout above the wedge, now again, if we are breaking down this 84 area, the next area of support on the weekly chart will be this 5770 to 73 area, breaking down of which I am pretty sure if the price comes down here to 5762 sometime tomorrow morning, bulls will be present here again to buy it. But if the bulls are not able to do that, then we can come down to the low of today and finally get to this 44 area again. But looking at the structure right now, it does not look like the market wants to fall back to this level right now. The bulls are actually trying to break out of this all-time high, get out of this wedge and get to the targets on the upside. So that is, I think, what is going to happen tomorrow, even if there is a pullback. So the other thing that I wanted to take a look at the weekly chart is the ATR, and the last week's ATR ended at 181 points. So if we are trying to get 181 points from this particular bottom, it will bring us somewhere to the 5926 to the 5927 areas to the upside. So at this point of time, the weekly bulls has a lot of room to move upside. Now let us take a look at the daily chart. So based on the daily chart, we have still not broken out of this particular mother bar's high. So we will have to see when that happens. So as of now, and especially for tomorrow, I will keep my mother bar fib on top of this bar. Now, what are the targets to the upside that we can achieve once we can get above this all-time high and get above the 5800 level? At that point of time, the first target will be the 5818 area, which will be the 1:1 of this particular pullback that we had. And if we can break above that, then we will actually be able to see this 5836 5834 area, which happens to be the 1:1 of this pullback to the upside. So once price is able to get above that 5818 area and hold that, or even get a pullback and then get over 5818 or 5821 again, you can actually buy again and try to get this 5836 target to the upside. Or if you are holding on to a runner at 5818, then you can raise your stop loss and try to see that if the same contract can get to the 5836 area. We also need to remember that above that 5836, the price can even come to the 5844 area, considering that this is the high of this particular channel in which the price is moving at this point. Now, if we look at the ATR is at 48 points right now. So, if we are trying to get another 50-point move to the upside, once we break out of here and we are holding, I think the move will be much more stronger than that. But if we are trying to get 50 points from here, the price will bring us somewhere close to the 5844 area, and that will be the top of the channel here. And from wherever the price opens tonight, if the price wants to fall down, let us consider that this is the point. Then the price brings us back to the 5738 to the 5740 area again, and the bulls may be present at that point to buy it back and push it back up to the top once more. On the daily chart as of now, there is no bearishness present, right? So this was the first leg that went up. We had a pullback here, and then we have the second leg, and this is where the third leg have started, and we are continuing in the third leg as of now. So now we have to see if this was the wedge breakout line, we get out above this, and then we will see that if we are continuing to the upside. Otherwise, if we are not getting above this 5798 or the 5800 level, the first area of support will be 5785. Below that, we will come down to the 5773, and below that we will get to the 5762 area, and after that we can get to the 55 area, and finally to the 46 area and farther down. The reason to keep an eye at all these levels is that at all these levels bulls have come out pretty strong, and as the price comes down there, we will have to count the number of legs, we will have to count the number of points that the price has moved, and based on the movement of the legs, we can actually found very strong reversal candles, very strong reversal momentum at any of these levels, starting from 85 to 73 to 62 to 55 to 46, and then to the 34 to the 36 area. If the 34 to the 36 area is giving up, we go straight to 5724, just like we talked yesterday. And if 5724 also is not able to hold the price, we will again go to the lower 5700s. However, again, just like we talked on the monthly and the weekly chart, the possibility of that happening is very bleak. So even if there is a pullback, I will actually try to look for long opportunities as long as this 5-5 area is not completely broken down. Now let us take a look at the 4-hour chart, the 4-hour intraday chart on ETH. So if you see, once we had this new high here, we had this two-legged pullback to the downside, and then we pulled back up here again. This was the first entry long. We had another leg down to the downside. This was the second entry long, and then we had an inside bar, the bottom of which broke down. So that gave us the three legs to the downside, and then we created a new high after the pullback, right? So now we have created a new low, and we have gone above the high of this candle. So for all practical reasons, this is the first entry long that we have on the 4-hour chart. So there is a possibility that we will be pulling back, but I do not think that we will be falling back below this 5769 or the 5770 area. If we are looking at this after this new low has happened, this was the first reversal attempt, this was the second reversal attempt, and it looks like we have broken up pretty strong above the second reversal attempt. So as long as that 5770 line is holding, the price will have the opportunity to get back to the top again and then keep going to the upside. Now, based on at what time the price is actually going up, we will have to keep an eye on these different trend lines that we had from yesterday itself and see if the prices are getting rejected at those levels. And if we are trying to do a 1:1 of this particular pullback to the upside, the price brings us to 5810. So based on the daily, weekly, and the 4-hour chart, if we are getting above the 5800 area, the first target will be the 5810. The next target will be the 5818 line, and then we can go up to the 5826 and the 5836 lines respectively, and finally to the 5844 area. So these will be the different profit taking lines depending on how price action is working in those areas. Now, if we come to the downside, this 5783 area will again be a very good support for the bulls. Now, if that is broken down, the next area of support will be in this 5777 to the 5773 area. If the bulls are not here, and then we can come down to the 5670. Now, this being the bull flag that we have at this point, if this is given out, we may do a double bottom here again at 5761 to 5755. And if the bulls are not able to hold this levels, then we will come back to the 5748 to the 5736 and then to the 5724 levels down here. We also need to keep an eye on this particular line, and if the price comes down at some point of time, this particular line and this one may also work as areas of support. So on the 1 hour chart, we had this triangle, right? We broke out of this triangle, which proved to be a false breakout. We came back down. This also proved to be a false breakout to the downside, and we went back up again. We retested inside the triangle, which is the apex of the triangle, and have broken out again. So now this looks like a failure of a failure, and the price may actually go up. And now if you see, after this first low, this was the first entry long. After that, we had a pullback, and this is the second entry long that has been created, and there will be bulls at 5794.5 or 5795 area to take the price up. Now we will have to see if we are getting above this 5800 line, if we are crossing above this ATH that we have, and we are creating a new ATH, we are crossing above this 5800 line and holding it, then this 5810 area will be our first target. After that, our next target will be at the 5818 line, followed by 5824 to 26, and then to the 33 area, and finally we can come to the 44 area as well, as we saw on the previous charts. Now on the flip side, if you see that this was the first entry long, this is the first reversal attempt, this was the second reversal attempt, which also failed. So as long as this 8-8 line holds, we should be good. If this 8-8 line now fails, we can come down to this 8-4-8-5 area, or else we can come down again here and do a double bottom here with 5-7-7-3.5. If these areas also fail and we are coming down to this 5-6-5-7-6-7, and if we are breaking down this 5767, it is highly possible that we will come down to this 5755 area and do a double bottom here, provided this 5761 is giving up. And below this, we will see this 5745 line, followed by the 5736 to the 30 area, and finally we can come down to the 5724s and then to the 5718 areas as well. And we may visit the lower 5700s once the 5724 line is taken out. Now the problem is that we are in a trading range here, right? This is the high of the trading range. We are back to the highs again, and we are having a second entry long at the high of the trading range, which often may become a trap. So we will have to be careful about that as well. Apart from that, I will also keep this particular trend line here. This trend line may act as the wedge line here. This is the first touch, second touch, third touch. This is the fourth touch. So if we are actually dropping down from here for a couple of legs, we know what has happened, and then we will count the number of legs to the downside and see if we are breaking down the major lows, and then only we can decide whether we can take a short in the market or not. So those are the different areas of levels that we have on the 1 hour chart. Now let us take a look at the 5-minute RTH chart. The charts that we are discussing, the read-only link to all these charts are given in the description below. Along with that, you will also find the link to our free Discord server as well as the Facebook page, and you are very welcome to join there. So now looking at the 5-minute chart, this 5781 and this 5776 and this 5773 to the 75 area, these will act as the major point of support. If these are breaking down, then the 5770 can be a minor support. If this breaks down, then the price will definitely come to the 5766 to the 61 area, breaking down of which we can see the low of the day around 5755, and then we will see if this area is not holding, we will come back to this area of reversal, which is at 5747 to 46, and below that the next areas of reversal will be the 38 to 40 area, and then to the 35 to the 36 area, and finally if we break down that, we can come to the 5724 major line, or maybe to the 5727 area. If now all these areas have possibilities of bulls coming out, taking the price and bouncing and going back up again. However, if 5724 holds, we will definitely come and visit some of the areas in the 5700 zone. On the upside, if we are getting above the ATH, if we are getting above the big round number, as we saw on the higher time frames, the 5810 will be the first target. After that, we will have 5818 followed by the 24 to 26 area, and then finally we can come to the 36 area followed by 40 and 44 to the upside. Now we need to see all these moves happen before we decide what can be the projected support and resistance areas that we can have on the upside still. So based on this analysis, we will come back again tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. EST to do the pre-market plan. If you want to join the pre-market plan, the link to that is given in the description below. This is where I will end the video tonight, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of the night, everyone. Bye.